Here in Washington, the House of Representatives on Tuesday passed two bills that significantly alter the District of Columbia's authority over its own criminal justice system. The legislative action unfolds against a backdrop of continued federal involvement in the city, as the Trump administration keeps the National Guard active to crack down on crime. The first and more sweeping of the two bills, titled the D.C. Crimes Act, places firm new limits on the D.C. government's power regarding its own criminal sentencing laws. Specifically, it strips the local government of its authority to change any criminal liability sentence that is in effect once the bill is enacted. In a major policy shift that has drawn considerable debate, the act also redefines who is considered a youth offender. The age is being lowered from the current threshold of 24 down to 18. This change is coupled with a provision allowing prosecutors to try individuals as young as 14 as adults for certain offenses. The bill further dictates that criminal sentencing for these younger individuals must at least match the mandatory minimums set for adult offenders, a move that directly overrules established local policy. To increase oversight, the legislation also requires D.C.'s Attorney General to publish and regularly update a public website that displays detailed statistics on youth criminal acts. Staying on Capitol Hill, a contentious and lengthy debate over the nation's energy policy took center stage in the House. In a marathon session lasting nearly 5 hours on Tuesday, Republicans and Democrats on the Energy and Commerce Committee's Energy Subcommittee clashed over the future of building and appliance efficiency standards. At the heart of the debate are Biden-era policies that Republicans are now seeking to unravel. The GOP argues that these regulations effectively eliminate fossil fuels as a viable energy option, which they claim drives up housing and electricity costs while limiting consumer choice. House Democrats, however, presented a mirror image argument. They maintained that the 8 proposed Republican bills under discussion would do the exact same thing, only by targeting renewable energies. Democrats contend that the GOP's approach would similarly lead to higher costs for consumers and restrict their energy options. The back-and-forth theme dominated the proceedings. The intensity of the hearing was underscored by the schedule, which included more than 3 hours of testimony and questioning with the Department of Energy's acting general counsel, Jeff Novak. A separate 90-minute panel discussion with 5 additional witnesses was also held, highlighting the deep partisan divide on how to approach energy efficiency and cost for American households. Meanwhile, a dispute is intensifying between the Social Security Administration and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. The agency is forcefully pushing back against a recent report from the senator, which accused the SSA of removing key data and attempting to cover up systemic dysfunction. In a letter and accompanying data report sent on September 16th, SSA Commissioner Frank J. Bisignano labeled Senator Warren's analysis as inaccurate. He asserted that under the Trump administration, the agency has become more transparent and is performing better than it did under the previous administration. To support this, Bisignano stated that the SSA's performance webpage now reports on 30 different data elements, nearly triple the 11 reported under the Biden administration. He also directly refuted the charge of a cover-up by pointing to specific improvements in customer service. According to the SSA's data, average wait times on the phone have dropped from 29 minutes in 2024 to just 16 minutes this year. The backlog of pending disability determinations has also been reduced, falling from nearly 1.2 million cases last August to about $907,000 now. In his letter, the commissioner urged Senator Warren to stop what he called fear-mongering and reckless lies, and to work with the agency instead of weaponizing Social Security. Senator Warren's office has not yet issued a public response. In one of the most powerful and emotional hearings on Capitol Hill this session, lawmakers heard harrowing testimony from parents who believe their children were driven to suicide by artificial intelligence. The Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime and Counterterrorism convened the hearing titled Examining the Harm of AI Chatbots on Tuesday to investigate the potential dangers of generative AI companions, particularly for minors. 3 parents shared their personal tragedies, alleging that prolonged and intense conversations with AI chatbots led directly to their children taking their own lives. Their testimony adds a deeply personal dimension to the growing calls for state and federal regulation of this rapidly advancing technology. The hearing comes after numerous cases have emerged nationally where users have reportedly spiraled into psychotic delusions or suffered severe mental health crises after spending days and weeks conversing with an AI companion. Also testifying were an official from the American Psychological Association and a director from the advocacy group Common Sense Media. The debate over corporate responsibility was highlighted by Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, who stated bluntly, "AI is about making profits. It's about these companies' profits." The session marks a critical step as Congress grapples with how to legislate a technology that is raising profound questions about mental health and safety. Finally, the Department of Justice is taking legal action against 2 states over the integrity of their voter registration lists. The DOJ announced on Tuesday that it is suing the states of Oregon and Maine, alleging they have failed to provide federally requested information about how their election offices maintain valid voter rolls. According to a statement from the DOJ's Civil Rights Division, both states have declined to cooperate with requests for unredacted access to their voter lists and related maintenance procedures. The department's lawsuit argues this is a violation of federal law. A key point in the Justice Department's complaint is the allegation that while the states denied access to the federal government, they had previously given a private organization access to what the DOJ describes as identical information. This has led to accusations of a double standard. Assistant Attorney General of the Civil Rights Division, Harmeet K. Dillon, framed the lawsuits as essential for public trust. She stated, "American citizens have a right to feel confident in the integrity of our electoral process." Dillon added that states simply cannot pick and choose which federal laws they will comply with, positioning the legal challenge as a necessary enforcement of federal voting laws designed to ensure all citizens have equal access to the ballot.